Hello everyone, this is the recording for week 2 in IT203. The reading this week is from the first book, chapters 3 and 4, and the second book, chapters 3 and 4. I'm sorry I didn't mention the first book last week. The week 2 discussion, you're to talk about the best practices during the design, evaluation, and implementation of interactive computing systems for human use. Needs at least 100 words and at least one APA reference. The initial is due Wednesday and 3 replies are due by Sunday. The week 2 assignment is a research paper this week, and it's on developing GUIs. It's due Sunday. You're to use APA and write a report on best practices for using design, includes the user design, including the following subsections. When it talks about wireframes, it means a sketch of the user interface that you're talking about. You can use PowerPoint to create a sketch, or you can look for example wireframes online and then just insert a screenshot or an image. But make sure you reference that site if you get it online. You need at least 2 references, and this does include in-text citation. You're to follow APA, which means you need a title page, table of contents, the body, at least 3 solid pages, double-spaced, and a reference page. I don't think it's supposed to be... Okay, I'm going to go quick to Classroom. I don't think it's supposed to be a title page. It should be an abstract. It does say table of contents, but there's really no need for this short a paper to have a table of contents. Now, there is a PDF file found in the library under Citations Formatting APA that will help you set up Word for APA. So you're going to use 1-inch margins, 12-point new Times New Roman font. You're going to include a page header in the upper left hand corner. It's called running head on the title page, and then the rest of the time it's just the title. And the contents is the title page, abstract, body, and references. And if you go through this, it tells you how to do each one. To set the font, to set the spacing, to do the header, because you need it different from first page. So I think this is a useful document. So there's no need for a title page, a table of contents. Do an abstract, which is basically a quick overview of what you're going to talk about. So for instance, you're going to talk about the user interface and creating GUIs, so you're going to kind of tell that. Now you can use a template by going to File, New, typing in APA, and you can pick an APA report. When you create it, you see it has everything changed for you. It already has the right font size and everything, and you can just fill in. Now, I don't require this author note, so you could just delete it, but you should put your name. So you could put your title, your name here, the title that you're choosing. Oh, it already has the author here, and the university. So you can just delete that and just have that part. Now the abstract is, it explains the abstract, and then it has a lot of different things. You're going to do a title, and then you're going to have your paragraph. But you might not have headings, so anything that you don't use, like you don't use these headings, then just delete them. Don't just leave them there because you didn't use them. And then it's going to have your reference page. And when you do your references, you can just fill them in. And you won't need the footnotes, so you can just delete that whole page. And you don't need tables. And you don't need figures. So it has a lot here at the end. But don't just leave it there, because then I'm going to say, well, you have all these footnotes, but you don't really have a footnote. So make sure you delete those if you're going to use a template. Make sure you fill in everything, and if you don't use it, then delete it. And that's how you do it with the template. Let's see. So I talked about Times New Roman, I put it backwards, double spaced, and like I said, abstract instead of table of contents. If you put in a table of contents instead, I won't count it wrong, but it just seems to be more useful to have an abstract. So for the quiz 2, you're going to study the key terms, and those are in the glossary, but if we go to Classroom, and if you click on the key terms, it takes you to the glossary. However, acceptance tests is not exactly the same as is in the glossary. So that's why I have acceptance tests provide objective and measurable goals for hardware and software performance. And that's from the book the first book that we have, and it's on page 164. Then the National Institute of Standards and Technology is a great source of information about data destruction methods. In other words, if you have a hard drive and it has sensitive information, you need to how to destroy that data so no one can retrieve it. Then instructional materials are great sources for users, including the medical, sales, and COTS systems. This is not found on the midterm. Well, it wasn't found. I didn't find it on quiz 2, but it's on the midterm and the final. So that's why I wrote it out. I didn't find it in the glossary. I didn't mean to put that there, but oh well. So that kind of helps you a little bit. So most of these terms, just study the terms in the glossary and you'll be able to answer the question, except for these 3. And that's why I wrote them out. If you have any questions, please let me know. That's all I have this week.